Hi, my grandma always saw, and I grew up in a house full of remnants and Burda magazines. I remember as a little child having a look at them once and again and looking at the pack first, seeing if I could figure out how to use them. And today is the day. When I did the video about my sewing book collection, I showed my grandma's magazines and I said that I would really like to do one. And the other day, in a comment, one of the girls in a trendy town, the channel is in Spanish, but I leave it in the description box in case you want to have a look, told me that she found difficult to follow the instructions. So I'm going to have a go and see how it goes. It's a very 80s style. The magazine is from January from 1989. And I really like this pair of trousers that they have for the autumn collection. Well, autumn winter, if this is January. I'm into wide waistbands apparently, because I made a dress with a nice waistband as well. Following our pattern, we're going to cut our piece of material. We are going to sew our darts first, and then sew together the two front panels and the two back panels. Now we can put them together by the side seams and in between the legs. Add the zipper and hem them, and once it is right sides out, sew the facings to the trousers right sides together. The first thing I'm going to do is open the pattern sheet and then trace my pattern onto a new one, because you're not going to cut this one. Oh my god, there's two of them. You can tell how excited I am. Pattern sheet A. That's good. So this one isn't. Let's put it in here so we don't lose it. This is a good use of paper, my god. So it says pattern 60 to 63, paper sheet A, we're there. And we need to look for arrows in green. You can't really see it from the picture, but it has these double darts because it has no waistband. I thought it had a wide waistband, but you can't really see it. The picture is really tiny. I've never seen these before, I've never done them, so that's good. And one thing I thought it was funny is that the trousers didn't fit in the pattern sheet, so they tell you to add more centimeters. The thing that took me most time was to figure out where the darts were drawn in the pattern sheet, because I couldn't see them. And thanks to the instructions drawing, that's how I figured out where they were, because there are an awful lot of lines in there. And here I am with my 4 pieces, the instructions and the fabric I chose. It is this cotton in a check design. And now to cut them, it has an awful lot of instructions. I don't know why, because you just simply have to cut double of each. So that's that. I guess you have to be careful about which side you are cutting. I have all my pieces already cut with my darts marked, and some lines, I don't know what they are for, but they are on the top of the trousers and on the facings. I have no idea. I keep reading and I'm not getting it. So now is the sewing time, and the instructions are to sew your darts, the sides, and in between the legs.
So that's mainly to sew the trousers, isn't it?
So let's do that. When I tried it on, I realized it was a bit loose down my calves, so I took it in a little bit. And then the next step says that you have to sew first your facings and then your zipper, but I'm going to do the zipper first because I changed the pattern a little bit. You can't really see it in the picture, but the zipper goes here in the front, and I think that a pair of trousers that come up here, I don't like it in the front. I think it doesn't suit it. I think it will be really bulky. So I changed it and I put it on my left side. So I'm going to do first my zipper and then the facing. I saw my zipper, it looks okay, and because I have the zipper on, I've been able to try it on and check that it fits nicely. I can breathe and everything, so that's good. And I've sewn a zigzag stitch all around the insides because I don't have a serger, mine is broken. And now it's time for the facings. I have 4 pieces of material for my facings, 2 for the front and 2 for the back. And the instructions, there's no full lot of instructions here for the facings, says that I have to fold the facings, the front facings, but I don't know why I have to fold them.
And pin them on the top of the trousers.
Join the pieces. I'm not sure, it says something about folding and then pinning. So I'm going to sew the facings, the 2 fronts and the 2 backs by the middle. And once I have that, I'll pin it on the right side of the pair of trousers. Facings always look nice, and what I want to do is to sew them to the edge of the zipper. I've never done this, and I've been trying with pins to see what's the correct position, and your zipper must be looking towards the trousers. So when you turn it right side out, the little teeth are outside and you can close it. It looks really nice. The problem with the facings is that they are never in place, they never stick in place. So the instructions tell you to stitch all around the top of the trousers, but I don't want any stitches because it's a nice pair of trousers, really stylish, and you don't want stitches up there. I'm going to stitch the facing to the seam that join the facing to the trousers. So that way they'll stay in place. They look really nice and you don't have any stitches on the outside, so really good. And the last step of the facings is that they tell you to sew a seam on the line that there's an arrow here, and they tell you to sew a seam on that so the facing sticks in place. I don't want another seam, so I'm going to stitch along the other side of the zipper. It looks really good. You can see 2 stitches I just went out of place, and lastly I'm going to hem them. My fabric is a bit thick, so I think that if I fold it twice it will look a bit bulky. So I'm going to just fold it once, and because I have the zigzag stitch it will be, and that's it. I've done this video to see if I was able to follow the instructions of a pattern, because I never use patterns, and I don't know if I can. I sort of did, but I just figured out what I had to do, because at some point I didn't know what to do with the facings. They had lots of instructions and I changed some things. I didn't stitch the top because I didn't want any stitches on the outside, but I stitched the facing on the inside seam. And then to keep it in place, they tell you to sew a seam right here on the front. And I didn't want that either, so I sew it on the right side, on the right seam. You can only see 2 stitches, so I'm quite pleased with that. And that's that. And what else? The zipper was another thing I changed. The pattern tells you to put it right on the front, and I didn't want a fly on the front because they are quite nice pair of trousers. They go all the way up here, so I put it on the side. It is a nice pair of trousers. It has this sort of 60s vibe, even though the magazine is from the 80s, and I quite enjoy doing it. One problem I had was to find my way in here, because there's so many lines, and once I found the trousers I was going to cut, it took me quite some time to find the darts. So Apple or Google, why don't you invent a pair of glasses that erase all the rest of the lines, so we sewers can only see the lines we want to see? That would be good. Another thing I had problems with was the size. I don't know what size I am right now, and they only come in a 36, which is an 8 in the UK, and a 40. These patterns were known to be quite big at the time, so I cut the 36 and added a centimeter more or so, and it was okay. I guess once you know your size, you'll be okay. And another thing was my belt. I could have done with 1 centimeter more, because apparently I have more hips than the Germans, so that's that. But anyway, I'm quite pleased with them. I think they're really nice, and I'll be making more of this. I quite like them. That's all for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And don't forget to subscribe to the girls of In a Trendy Town, because they have really interesting videos. Bye, see you soon!